All right, Coach Gates is going to start with the opening statement before moving on to questions.
This is the fun part of the year. I'm excited about having postseason play. I think and I truly believe our guys have had a series of games that hopefully prepares us for what March has to come. Ultimately, I feel that our players have gotten better over a period of time, which means that our team has gotten better, which means that our staff has gotten better, which means that I've gotten better. I'm excited about going to the first SEC tournament of my career, and ultimately we'll see where that takes us. It's going to be a tough atmosphere. I think there is a series of teams, a number of teams that can win it. I believe there's players that can really step up and lead their team in the right direction. And hopefully we just play a series of games that prepares us. Being in a double bye situation, we would want it to be first place. However, we're in fourth, and that's what you want, that rest period, that game time and playing on Friday.
How does your staff handle this week as far as scouting and all that when you've got 3 potential teams you could open up against and you won't know who till Thursday night?
Yeah, this is a time where most of our staff, depending on what was assigned to them throughout the year, they go back and watch every single game that they hadn't based off of when the last time that we've played that opponent. So yes, there's a series of 3 teams that we could play. We just played Ole Miss, but we know ultimately moving forward that other 2 opponents are just as dangerous, effective, and very good. Anyone can come out of that game. Obviously, we just got to prepare the way that we need to, and our staff is doing their job. I'll do my job and continue to watch film like I have. But through the season, this is what the SEC prepares you for. You sometimes are playing teams the 3rd time or the 2nd time around at a neutral site.
Yeah, it's kind of related to that. I think you guys were 4-1 in rematches this year in the SEC. Is there anything about your process that you think gives you an edge when you're facing a team a 2nd time?
I can't give you secrets, man. I think, it says something about our team being able to just go out there and give your very best, knowing what had happened the game before and what could happen now. You kind of build another scouting report by being in that game, and moving forward now you can make those adjustments. So I just think we do a good job with our staff, our preparation, our players, and myself. I think that's important.
Dennis, how do you feel like how you guys have grown on the road this season has prepared you for this time of the year when obviously everything's on the road?
That's a double question, because neutral site is completely different than the road. It is completely different. However, we know that we'll be in the SEC tournament. Sometimes the game before ours, you'll have teams either cheering for us or cheering for the other team, and they're not even the fans of our opponent, right? So, or they're not even alumni of Mizzou. I just think the atmosphere for the normal sports fan in March allows, if you're in that building watching basketball, you're cheering for someone, and that's the excitement that comes with it. I just hope we're able to continue on the path of our growth, our style of play, and just give our very best.
What did it mean for you to see Kobe named first team All SEC?
You know what? I am very excited about that, because for a young man like Kobe to give his very best, obviously give me an opportunity to just sit and talk. That carries a lot, and now he sees the plan that I talked about come to fruition, and he stayed in the moment. He's never gotten too far ahead of himself nor too far behind. He stayed right there in the moment. He wasn't thinking about these awards at all, and that was part of our conversation. Hey, let's just give our very best and see what comes of it. And to have a player that I thought could be one of Mizzou's all-time great players, he's being rewarded for what others may think about him. But his unselfish spirit would say, it belongs to the team. He thanked them consistently, but also the fact that he would rather it be different and have any team award out there. He would rather have, and he would trade all that for a first place finish in the regular season, and that's where his mind at. That's where his heart is.
How much do you think Kobe's unselfish spirit speaks to a broader unselfish spirit on your team, and how important has that been to what you've been able to establish?
It's one of our 8 core values. Unselfishness is something that is definitely important for this group. It was something that we talked about along with friendship, love, accountability, trust, discipline, and obviously unselfishness, enthusiasm, and toughness. We talked about those 8 core values, and to be able to mend a group in 9 months and force an outcome that, as I see it, should have happened, and we underachieved in my eyes. We underachieved. And I wasn't, looking anything elsewhere other than what can prepare us to be April 1st, April 3rd. That's where my mind has always been at. I wanted a regular season championship, and we fell short of that goal. So, we just got to, go out, put some games together, and give our very best, and it'll be difficult.
With all that in mind, what it took to stitch this team together, mend it, all that, what do you think the biggest key to the buy-in you needed was? What do you think was most fundamental to them buying in the way they have?
I truly believe is this. Our guys gave us their heart. They gave that transparency, that pathway to their hearts, and vice versa. They saw me as a leader give it to this institution, give it to everything that I have shown, give it to them, give it to their parents unconditionally. They see how me and my staff operate and communicate. They know what my demands are every day. And that allows guys to feel emotionally connected with each other. They know how often I've told them I love them. I didn't wait to senior day to say it. I didn't wait to senior day to hug them. I hug them every day if I can. And obviously I'm talking about more than just basketball. But from day one, we were very intentional. We had a plan in place, and that plan was executed at Cleveland State in July of 2019 when I got the job at the end of July, and it's going to continue to be executed. And I truly believe in team building, player development, staff development, and personal development. I believe in that, and Dr. Joe Carr has helped me. He's helped us. He's one of the best in the business, and I appreciate him.
Are there any guys that maybe didn't get their name announced by the SEC yesterday who had great years who are taking some extra motivation into the postseason from that?
I'll tell you one thing, it's a lot of great players in this league, and I'm proud to represent the league as the Witten family head men's basketball coach. And whenever you have voting, whenever you have teams, it's a tough process. It is a very tough process, and there's never a time where everyone can get an award. This is not about it's not a trophy league. Everybody just get an award, and we got 50 people, 50 young men on lists. No, you have to earn it. We got to do better, and obviously we didn't do better. That's how I see it.
So you mentioned throughout the season connectivity is something you either like to see in your team or improve after games and whatnot. What exactly is connectivity to you, and why is that important to this team?
It's very first of all, it's rare. It's not a common thing. The other part of it takes a lot to work on it, and you have to work on it every day. It's not just going to show up. It has to be talked about. It has to be seen. It has to be heard. It has to, morph into what it will become. It's not going to ever stay the same from one day to the next. It changes like the temperature. And you have to, as a coach, always be sort of a gauge. And if it's not right, if it's not where you think it should be, my job is to make sure I get the temperature right and make sure our disposition is accordingly assessed the right way. And there's just things that we do and will always do. I can't tell you all of it, but maybe one day you'll be able to continue to see it.
Dennis, at the beginning, you mentioned players could step up throughout this week. I mean, for your team specifically, whether it's a guy or an area, what do you need to see? What's the key to going down and winning this tournament?
I just need to see elite focus. It's that simple. Two teams are going to play well, and somebody has to come away with a loss this March. There's going to be possession by possession. There's going to be situations. You're going to have circumstances. You just can't predict it all. You just hope in that melting pot of a season from your non-conference all the way through to conference that you have had enough experiences that can help you along the way. And they identify and pull from that memory bank, oh, this happened in this situation. This is what we need to do next. And that's what the experience is. And I'm thankful that our guys, and we debrief the right way, where we're, not pointing out all mistakes, but pointing out ways to fix certain outcomes. We're not doing it just when we lose. We're doing it also when we win. There are just so many situations that can come up during a conference tournament that I think our guys have paid attention to throughout this season.
Is there anything else in mindset in the postseason that you preach to your guys this time of year, or is it more of a same as the regular season? What got us your kind of approach?
I think they know enough about basketball to understand. They have enough friends that have been playing. They've watched women's basketball. They've watched tournaments exist even thus far. They see the situations. So we have a bunch of guys that are basketball educated, and we talk about these situations. And not only talk about it, we'll end up throughout the year inserting those in our practice plan so that we can continue to get better, because ultimately what our instincts are something that guys can do just with a snap of a finger. And we don't want them to learn it. We want them to now approach it with a snap of a finger approach and not be paralyzed by thought, but know exactly the situation at hand and what to do.
Natalie?
Dennis, how do you feel like over the last few games, Nick Honor has really grown? I feel like ever since he hit that game winner, you've seen him take more and more shots. How have you seen him grow just really in the past few weeks here?
Nick Honor is a coach on the floor. He's very, very important to what we do. He's very important to our team. He's very important to me. I think he gives us a sort of disposition that's needed. He has experience. He is a young man that thinks the game. He's a coach's son. His dad was a Naismith Coach of the Year nationally at the high school level. So he's grown up around basketball and almost with a whiteboard and marker in hand. I wouldn't be shocked if he becomes a head coach. I truly believe that is the impact that he has, and I can see it daily of what he gives to our team, gives to our practice. He's very underrated. I need him to be more selfish. I need him to shoot. I need him to take chances and take risk. And he'll give us sample sizes of that, but he's so cerebral that he always makes the right play for us.
You may have answered this in a different form already, but when you think about this team, what do you think defines it the most so far in terms of what it's been able to do? What's been the key to its makeup?
How am I able to define this team?
Yeah, what do you think defines the success of this team so far? I guess that's a better way to put it.
I think they use their ears and they listen. What defines people and leaders are their ability to listen and not just always speak. We have a lot of great listeners and guys that are thinking consistently. We have guys that execute things on and off the court, guys that don't come up short before the finish line in all aspects of their life. They'll run through it, right? They don't second guess what I'm saying or authority. They, yes, sir, no, sir. They are very, very, wise beyond their age. They have a high basketball IQ. They are connected, not just in basketball, but in real life. I truly believe this team will be connected and pushing me around in a wheelchair one day. You know, I'm just being honest. I truly believe that that's how impactful our locker room is. And they have respect, and they've done everything I've asked them to do, adhere to our 8 core values: friendship, love, accountability, trust, discipline, unselfishness, enthusiasm, and toughness. And they have it.
When you were obviously recruited to that, right? I mean, you were trying to know these
What
things
story
about
are you
these
working
guys.
on, man? You working on a story or something?
Seems like a
no,
big
just
picture
joking,
story.
just joking. Go
But
ahead.
just that, I mean, that was what you had in mind. I'm sure it was very much a part of your recruiting process, who the character is, how they were going to fit. But does it surprise you that you could have that many guys buy in the way they did right away?
No, it surprises you.
Yeah, maybe.
No, it ain't no maybe. Answer the question. Does it surprise you?
Yeah, I think it's hard to do.
Why?
Because I think it's hard to do.
Why?
Because it's disparate parts from a lot of different places that hadn't played together before. Most of them.
Yeah, I think this. Young people are a product of their environment, what they see every day, what they do every day, and what they are demanded to sort of be. I want these guys to be the very best that they can be every day. I don't want them to ever look at life and say, I'm taking today off. That's how I demand. That's how I talk to them. But also I put my arms around them, tell them I love them. I give them confidence. I teach them what a true friend is and how to be friends to others, how to break the barrier of differences. And if you can do that and teach a person that, how much easier is the transition? Or is it called a transition then? Right? Now, you define a transition in different ways. How long it's really going to take a person to do something versus how long it takes others. What is your sample size? What is your example? I have different examples in my life that allows me not to look at time the same way you look at it. We did it in high school. I did it in college. I did it throughout my life in different ways, not just in basketball, but in different things. I'm not just a basketball coach, but some people may define me as that. I don't define myself as just being a basketball coach. And I think that gives us all a unique perspective. And I don't define my players as just being players. I define them as young men who are getting better in everything that they do, and they're allowing me to be a very important piece that'll teach them not only how to be successful husbands, fathers, business owners. We can go on and on with that list. I want my children to call them big brothers. And if that's not taking place, I'm failing them. I want them to see me interact with my children, interact with my wife, and say that's the example. I'm away from my mom and dad right now, but that's the example that, hey, Coach, I remember Coach Gates did this. That's why it's important. That's why I took families to Georgia, so guys can see us as humans. That's why we do certain things. And our environment here in Columbia, our fans, they didn't have to accept these guys. They didn't, but they did. They're just as responsible. This institution is just as responsible. None of this will take place if these guys wasn't comfortable in every part of their life. This is a new environment, and they're comfortable. So my hat's off to the city of Columbia and to our campus for allowing these guys to feel at home. That's important.
All right, thanks, Coach.
I'm sure I got another question, right? No?
You want one more?
I don't. They started like, I saw body language a certain way. It was like, you know, I know they got some. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Okay.
This after the game, Sarah, the ceremony, a lot of people noticed you and Desiree walk Isaiah out
Yeah.
the court. What did that moment mean to you, being able to do that?
I'm by my players' side every day of my life and every day of theirs. It's that simple. That's my commitment to them, each and every last one of them. Now, ultimately, I've done that in the past where everyone's not having the opportunity to come from a complete family. Some have different backgrounds. I've had kids that's been adopted. I've had kids that I've coached that's been wards of the state coming straight from, right? Maybe, different environments altogether. International kids kids with parents just not able to be here. And I'll always have my guys and be by their side. I always have their backs. I think it's just a very important position that I hold. And being a coach, and I'll say this, being a coach, there's only few professions that title never changes, no matter how long you've been in that person's life, no matter how long. I'm going to always be, hey, this Coach Gates. And I take that very seriously.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. MIZ.
Thanks, Coach.